Hey folks, what up? Back for the first time with my friend Scarlett.
Hey everyone!
Had a failure last time, but we're back. So, you're a Harry Potter nerd, huh?
Absolutely.
What do you prefer, the movies or the books?
Definitely the books, I think.
Movies.
Yeah? Alright. Tell me why.
Never read the books.
Alright.
I always felt they were too weird for me. But the more I get older, the more like, I gotta go back and read these. I didn't read The Hobbit till I was 18, so why not go back and read Harry Potter, you know?
Absolutely.
And yeah, I think J.K. Rowling did a lot of good stuff with the book she wrote. An entire generation of kids learned to read because of her.
Mm-hmm.
She created one of the greatest fantasy settings of the modern day era. I feel for her because she got persecuted by some really crazy people back in like when she was writing those books. Those crazy like book burnings.
Oh, I don't even really know about that. Like when they first came out?
Yeah. When they first came out, a lot of people were saying this is witchcraft, this is devilry.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
Totally.
And that's why I feel J.K. Rowling has earned a place in my childhood for the impact she's had on me.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think you can separate the art from the artist?
I definitely think so. I think that once an artist creates a story and people begin to interact with it, in a lot of ways it's out of their hands. It's in the hands of the people. I mean, you look at fan art, you look at fan fiction.
Cosplay,
right? Like, everybody's going to put a little piece of themselves into the mythos.
Yeah, I write some fan fiction. Yeah, nerd.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, look at it from that perspective. Don't hate, try and educate. Like you say, you attract more bees with honey than you do vinegar.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe just try and work and hope this is just in general, content creators come into their senses and you can share your feelings in a constructive way. And that's the little moralistic igot I'm going to do before I start this podcast. Mm-hmm. So what do you like most about the Harry Potter books?
Ooh, I think, for when I was reading them, the thing that was so cool is, like, being in high school and seeing this magical high school and, like, wishing and hoping that your Hogwarts letter was going to come when you turned 11, I think just it blends reality and fiction so well because it's this fantasy world that exists just a half step next to our real world.
It's so cool because, like, Diagon Alley, how all this, like, magical civilization is hidden in this magical backstreet alley version of London. That's so cool.
Right.
It's so magical.
And it's like if you just know the mystery, if you just tap in the right way and do the right thing, then it's like this whole world unfolds.
Yeah.
I think that's really inspiring.
And how do you feel about the using of elements of like 20th century, like 19th century, everything was like old and timely versus like the modern day world? How do you feel about the contrast between like the Muggle world and the Wizarding world? How do you think that works narratively?
Like in terms of how the two worlds get along?
Or how they get along and how do you, as the viewer and reader, like what feeling does it give you?
Yeah, I think, in some ways it's exciting because you're like, okay, well, I'm a Muggle, I'm not magical, but maybe, on the other side of this wall is some magic, so I think that piece is cool, but go ahead.
Inner childhood whimsy.
Yeah.
Inner childhood whimsy.
We need that.
And the world is full of that.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe just by reading these books, watching these movies, you can keep that magic alive. Because this might... Mm-hmm. You ever heard the Dumbledore quote, my favorite one? Every word you make is infinite magic.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that statement?
I think that's really true. And like one of the cool things about the series is that the idea that magic is all around us if you just know where to look.
Yeah. A Muggle can use magic just by the character of their soul.
Yeah.
Look about it. It's the powerful magic is not just like the
waving a wand and fireballs.
It's the energy of the character.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes a wizard.
Yeah.
Well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I mean, if you were to ask me to define magic, I would say any intentional act is an act of magic. So, anytime we're creating anything in this world, it's magic. Eating food is alchemy. I put things into my body does some magic, and then I get to live.
Yeah, screw the Enlightenment. That destroyed all the whimsy and joy in the world.
Yeah, we need more whimsy.
Friedrich Nietzsche destroyed happiness, okay? I disagree with that guy for so many reasons.
Yeah.
But
That's a whole other thing.
But Harry Potter is the reverse of that. It brings the whimsy back into the world, gives you hope.
Yes. Yeah, even just I love the power of chocolate, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a Dementor comes around, it's like, oh, just, you know, a little piece of chocolate.
You can even make the argument the books themselves are books of magic because the feeling they embark into you, you know?
Yes. The hope and always fighting for good and
The innocence.
friendship, the importance
Yes.
of friendship and love and community. I mean, especially love. Like the whole book is
Harry's-
about the importance of love.
Harry's family is his adoptive family. Ron and Hermione. I love Hermione, by the way. Favorite character.
She's awesome.
Who plays her in the movies again?
Emma Watson.
Love her.
Yeah, she's an amazing actress.
Amazing human being as well.
Totally.
The whole point is like they become his family, you know? Dumbledore's like his, I don't know, it's like a grandfather or adoptive father
Yeah.
in between there, you know?
Yeah, mentor, fatherly figure.
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
it's so sad when spoilers, he dies in one of the books.
Yeah.
But like at the end of this, you know, at the end of Deathly Hallows, that scene where he's talking Dumbledore in heaven and
oh my gosh, yeah.
the afterlife, and it's like that was like one of the greatest cinematic experiences I experienced as a kid, you know?
And like I gotta say real quick on that scene and like how it relates to mental health, like his whole quote about like, oh, just because it's happening in your head, what makes you think that's not real? And I thought that was so important that the things in our head are very much real. They're influencing everything from our actions to our worldview, and so I thought
There's a
this was
deep
really cool.
there's a deep spirituality to Harry Potter. There's a deep mysticism to it
Definitely.
that just sucks you in and gives you.
Oh yeah.
What's your favorite creature?
Buckbeak. Buckbeak the hippogriff.
The werewolf.
Oh, Lupin?
Lupin. I love
Yep.
Lupin. He's a great character.
Totally.
Okay, what was your favorite scene in the movies? Mine's
Mm.
the dragon.
Oh, like in the fourth book? Or in the
Yes.
fourth movie?
Yes.
Yeah, where he's fighting the dragon. That is pretty awesome. Gosh, I don't like to pick a favorite is so difficult.
Yeah.
I don't know if I even can.
Okay. Yeah, so my favorite, but speaking of the fourth movie, when Voldemort comes back. The sheer amount of evil you feel in that scene.
Oh yeah. And
Like-
Cedric Diggory?
How how they told the story of Voldemort. How in the first book he's like this decrepit, parasitic presence.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a evil spirit, a demon, and like he's clinging to life. He's a parasite. Once again, Rowling, you're doing great spiritual stuff there. Keep it up. And like then like Voldemort returns to power by literally human sacrifice, and like that scene where that he turns into a human being again. The darkness surrounds him.
Yeah.
He's the embodiment of evil. Everything about Voldemort is evil. What do you see about evil about him? What do you like? What influences do you like in him? You're an anthropologist and a history nerd. What evil stands out about him that you'd recommend?
I think like just the Horcrux piece and
Yeah.
you know the corrupted immortality that you know splitting apart your soul by murdering people. I mean literally, and then imbuing that in objects just to gain immortality. But I think that's what makes him such a great villain is because humans throughout all time have sought immortality. So I think that's a very poignant critique.
He's not even Darth Vader. He's not even like an anti-hero. He's just evil. He's a snake. He's a parasitic snake. Oh, and the bond between him and Perry, the frickin' how they both share the same soul, kinda, you know?
With who?
Harry.
Oh, with Harry. Oh,
Sorry.
I thought you said Perry. I'm sorry.
I said
No,
Harry. And like the
yeah.
curse, like. Okay, how do you feel about that narrative? Like from that you learning about Harry and Voldemort's connection over the books. How do you think it was handled?
I thought it was such a great reveal. Honestly, like at the end when it's like, oh, Harry's a Horcrux, I was like, what? Like it was surprising. Like I really did not see that coming.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool how it was revealed.
Yeah, how do you feel about J.K. Rowling as a writer?
I think like writing wise, stylistically, it's amazing. I think the books are so fun to read.
Yeah.
I like how they evolve from, you know, kind of childlike in the first book,
Yeah,
you know, to very complicated, dark, and deep by the end.
right. And you can, and once again, you can separate the art from the artist. Okay, we gotta remember that. Don't let the author destroy Harry Potter. You know.
Right, like the world of Harry Potter, you know. Yeah, I think the books themselves are great. I think the problematic things happened, you know, in the Twitter sphere after the books were released,
Yeah.
you know. But,
Yeah.
you know, if we just look at the books and the writing style, you know, I think they're great.
Who? You know what the saddest moment in the entire books were for me?
Hmm.
When Dobby died.
Oh, yeah.
That made me cry.
Yeah. I think the saddest moment for me was actually when Snape died.
Because
Because it was like this whole time you
That-
just hated him,
you
right?
gave me the debate though. Did he really care about Harry, or was he just like?
Oh, he just loved Lily. He loved Lily so much
Yeah.
that any piece of her, you know, was enough to save.
Yeah.
And like he was such a tormented character. Like the
He-
love of his life falls in love with somebody else.
A bully
and then
by
dies.
a trashy bully, by the way.
Yeah.
I can't believe I'm using that word, but a very self-righteous, just jerk.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see why he like how he hates Harry, but also wants to help Harry. It's
Right.
such conflict, you know.
Yeah, and so he spends this whole time being this tortured bad guy, and then you just find out, oh no, like you were helping all along.
Did
you
he
were
ca-
actually a good guy.
Was he loyal to Dumbledore, in your opinion?
Oh yeah,
Dumbledore understood him.
Absolutely.
Would you say Dumbledore was
Absolutely.
one of the few people who understood him?
totally. Yeah.
And Dumbledore, how do you feel about his character?
I mean, awesome. He's just awesome, very wise.
Yeah.
I think the pieces I didn't like, I felt like how he treated Harry was pretty disappointing.
Yeah.
Because he kept him at arm's length.
In
you know,
one
thinking
movie,
he
yeah.
had to die. No, I'm not just even in the fifth one, but always kind of keeping him at arm's length.
Yeah.
Not telling him the whole thing. Like, I mean, it's hard because, right, he's like 13, 14.
Right.
15. You say, hey, you're a Horcrux.
And
you're
obviously,
gonna have to die
hey,
eventually.
here's a kid who's like a grandson to me.
Yeah.
But he has this destiny, you know?
Right.
And it's so complex, you
Right.
know?
And then it's like, do you just let him enjoy his youth knowing eventually he'll have to die?
Yeah.
You
But
know?
honestly, Harry did cheat death.
Oh, yeah.
And the devil himself, which is awesome.
Yeah.
When
that-
Neville kills a snake,
Oh, yeah.
what's your
Perfection.
what's your favorite kind of spell in the world of Harry Potter?
Ooh, my favorite kind of spell. I don't know. I really think like the transfiguration is pretty cool.
Right.
Like what McGonagall does, like transforming objects into animals or transforming yourself into other animals.
Dark
like,
arts.
You like the dark arts?
I'm a Slytherin.
Okay.
What house are you?
Gryffindor. Wow, you judging me?
Yes, I'm judging.
He's like,
The
I
hat.
never invite you on my podcast again.
Oh my god, and Hagrid.
My guy.
Oh
My
god.
guy.
Rest in peace, dude.
Yeah,
Rest in
I know.
peace. Rest in
That
peace.
was so sad. Oh,
How
God,
how do you
Coltrane.
feel about the Cursed Child?
So I read it once, very quickly on an airplane, so
Yeah.
it's been a while. But I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really cool redemption story, seeing how children can heal the traumas of the parents.
Yes, yes.
So I thought that was really neat.
I don't care if people say it. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
And spoilers, people, there's a new show coming out for Harry Potter.
Woo.
I don't care if people say I'm gonna keep consuming Harry Potter, okay? I love that world.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about the Fantastic Beast?
So I watched the first two. I really, really liked the first one.
I know you're
Oh, go ahead.
no nothing. I'll say it after.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say, I just don't think it had that same emotional appeal to me as the original Harry
Yeah,
Potter
but
series.
it stands on its own, okay?
Yeah.
It's a magical eco tale that is somehow still fighting for endangered species, but at the same time, it's like World War II, but it's bridging if you watch the last movie, the freaking Fantastic Beast is like explaining how the Elder Wand was forged, how Dumbledore fought what's his name?
Grindelwald.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's so much interconnectedness, and I think J.K. Rowling wrote a fantastic script for the first 3 movies. I don't care if you say I like the Fantastic Beasts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who is your favorite How do you feel about Malfoy? Complex character? Or do you hate him?
I think he is somewhat complex. I mean, going through the movies and the books, I definitely hated him. I think that
Yeah.
was the point.
Yes.
But he is complicated. I guess I like the Cursed Child for that fact of here's
Yeah.
this person you hated, but even somebody like that
It's
can become
the
a
entire
dad.
the entire story is about living up to the shadows of your parents.
Yeah, like ancestral trauma.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
karma is a big theme. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
literally Harry and his parents, Malfoy and his parents. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah.
How do you feel about Harry Potter going forward? Would you do you think it still has a place in pop culture and nerdom? And do you think it's still a great source of literary love and just hope?
Yeah, oh, I think so. I think it's very magical and
Yeah.
like, I mean, yeah, kids should keep reading it. It's exciting and good.
Yeah. And closing two statements, last two subjects I'll talk about. What was the darkest movie in your opinion? What darkest moments tormented you when you were reading Harry Potter as a kid and the movies?
A couple come to mind. So I think just the fifth book was like maybe arguably one of the most depressing.
Yeah, and then there's the theme of growing up, and that's what the darkness represents, you know?
Yeah, and like, him losing Sirius was
Yeah,
I mean,
that's sad.
but I think as a kid reading the books, like actually the third book was one
Yeah.
of the saddest because there was this moment of hope where he was like, I don't have to live with my terrible aunt and uncle anymore. I get to go live with my godfather, and then all of that was like taken
Yeah.
away. So I think as a kid that like impacted me the most of like,
Yeah.
oh my god, he's finally gonna get out of this bad situation.
The Dementors.
And then that. Yeah,
The
Dementors are
Dementors.
pretty
The
messed
darkest thing I remember from the Harry Potter movies, because that's what I'm exposed to.
Mm-hmm.
Dobby's death, and just like,
Yeah.
you're a kid and you keep on losing people you love and care about, you know, and you're a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
She knew how to start lighthearted in the beginning.
Oh yeah, so
And
lighthearted.
Even the magical world starts turning darker, like the freaking
Yeah.
Death Eaters.
Oh yeah, and then by the seventh book, like just all the people who die, like it
Yeah.
was. I mean, Fred and George.
Oh yeah.
I'm still not over that.
The line is like, I never wanted any of you to die for me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in a Harry Potter story, this is going to sound totally nerdy and fanboy. I kind of relate that to my own relationships, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like, the whole point, like, I've kind of internalized Harry Potter as, like, you choose the family you want, you know? And that has so much relevance to me.
Mm-hmm.
The other part is, like, Harry Potter was one of the, was, like, helping LGBT kids when no one else was. And Dumbledore being gay was one of the greatest things to happen for so many people I knew as a kid. And that's why it has such a place in my heart, you know, Dumbledore especially.
Yeah.
Here's this, you know, how do you feel about that?
Like specifically, like Dumbledore being gay,
Or like, no, not that, but like the LGBT, like what it did for so many kids that were outcasts, you know?
Yeah, I think it's kind of complicated because we didn't find that out until later. So
Yeah.
it almost kind of feels like retconning a little bit.
Yeah.
You know? I would have liked it a lot more if it was actually included in canon, like
But
in the book.
There's always this core theme of like these kids are outcasts, but they find joy and love in this magical world of.
Mm-hmm.
It could be like metaphorical for imagination or the people you play D&D with on a Friday night as a nerdy kid in middle school, you know?
Yeah, I
And that-
certainly like the emphasis on the chosen family, like you said.
Yeah. Well, in closing, I think Harry Potter is a great series, and even with recent controversies, it's still worth the read. Would you agree?
Yeah, I think it's definitely worth the read. And like you said, you can separate a great book and also have issues with the author. Like,
Yeah.
both can be true.
Yeah. And I want to see that new show. Till
Yeah.
next time, I don't know any spells. Say something in Wizard.
Expelliarmus!
Stay sane, folks.